So in our office, we're constantly being asked about what kind of mattress we should get, or being asked about sleeping posture. So we thought that it would be really beneficial, especially since we spend a third of our life asleep. So we put together this master class. So what we're going to be teaching in this master class is proper sleep posture per condition, and that's symptoms as well as some conditions you might have been diagnosed with, as well as what kind of mattress you get. So no strings attached. Hope you enjoy it. Our goal is to educate the community, and hopefully we can help some of you out of there. So hope you enjoy it. All right, so a lot of you people that have shoulder pain when you're sleeping, or even whenever you wake up, hands typically feel like they're falling asleep. One of the big reasons could be because of the angle that you're sleeping with your shoulder. So when you sleep with your shoulder, when it's tucked above your head like this, or at these extreme angles, well, what's happening is you have what you call the neurovascular bundle. What that is, all the blood vessels, all the nerves come out, but you create what you call impingement. It's like crimping a water hose because of this angle that it's at, this getting mashed. So what we suggest on this is we want to create space. So one thing we suggest to do is to tuck a pillow around, so now we can decrease this angle. Basically hug that pillow, creating space for taking some pressure off those nerves, off those blood vessels. If you do that, be good to go. All right, so a lot of our chronic hand pain or even carpal tunnel, sleeping in a position like this, especially with the hands folded, is really bad for this condition, and this is why. So the carpal tunnel is the median nerve, and so that nerve comes all the way down the arm, comes down like this, and it goes and branches into these fingers. And so the carpal tunnel itself is right here in the wrist. And so what that is literally a tunnel that this nerve is going through. So what happens, there's two things that nerves do not like, and that's to be overly stretched, overly compressed. And when you're doing this, you're compressing that nerve. So one thing that we suggest is to wear a brace so that we can make sure that we keep this wrist straight when we sleep, because a lot of times when we're asleep, we're not completely aware of what we're doing, but we've got to be diligent about keeping these wrists straight. Good to go. All right, so for a small group of people, especially young people in particular that have been diagnosed possibly with a disc herniation, that are doing more of extension-based therapies in our office, some of those people actually will be better off sleeping face down. And so I'm going to explain a little bit why, so it'll make a little bit more sense. Because typically people that sleep face down, because it puts you in this extended posture, will tend to have a little bit more pain. But drawing this out, our disc is like this jelly-filled donut. Our nerves in the back. So what happens when we bend forward? If you think about this, jelly moves backwards. It's like toothpaste. We push the front, can come back, and especially if we sit all day in this posture. Well, what we do, and that's the premise of McKenzie extension exercises, is that we are loading the back, trying to migrate and move this jelly forward, trying to move it away from the nerve. So in some cases, but I stress some cases, especially if you've been diagnosed with this, and this is a therapy you're using, sometimes sleeping face down can actually help people with their back pain. So we're talking about sleeping on your back for low back pain. So the biggest thing that we're looking at here, once again, when we're talking about low back, it's mostly about the hips. But what we're looking at, he's laying flat on his back, but we want to keep that good curve in our low back, and you can see how our back just tends to flatten out. So what we want to do in this situation is optimal position will be to prop up our legs with a pillow underneath it. You want a nice little plump pillow, but it's going to help kind of round out that low back, take a little bit of pressure off of it. So good to go. So we're talking about lumbar pain, and if you're a side sleeper, in the best position for your sleeping. So this one, like Shakira says, the hips don't lie. It's all about the hips. So you can see how he's asymmetrically sleeping, because right here at the hips, we got this angle coming down. So that's going to be torquing on the back. So what we want, so we've got this nice little pillow and we'll actually have a link for where you can purchase this in the Amazon store. But the big thing is, you can see how we've got this nice straight angle right there, no torque on the spine, everything's in a line. Good to go. So this is going to be for our neck pain patients. We're going to go through each position and the thickness of the pillow and how this is going to affect your neck position in regards to we're going to be trying to keep this neutral spine. So what we don't want this really thick pillow, because you can see the angle of the neck. This is going to be wrenching the neck throughout the night. But where we do want a thicker pillow is if you're a side sleeper. So depending on the width of your shoulder, we want this neutral spine, so we want it to be the width of the shoulder, so you can see how we're straight right here. And if you're a stomach sleeper, we definitely, same as the back, don't want this really thick pillow, because once again, it's going to be wrenching this neck. So we want to lose that. There we go, neutral spine, flipping over onto the back. Once again, neutral spine. Good to go.